everybody, it's Mike from Here the Watchmen. And wow, exciting times right now here in an undisclosed location in the United States. Monday, Jeannie and I pack up and leave for Dallas, Texas, where we will be next week. And we have with us today Mark Sutherland, as usual, and we'll get to him in a minute. But I'm not going to talk about the conference today. The reason I'm not going to talk about the conference, it's going to happen next Thursday, beginning next Thursday, actually, in Dallas, Texas, at the Hilton DFW. You can find all information out at www.hearthewatchmen.com. You can still get a ticket if you want to come in person. You can definitely still live stream it. Sign up, though. Use the promotional code HTW20. That'll save you $20 on your physical ticket, and it'll save you 20% on your streaming. And you get to keep that streaming ticket and watch it for 6 months. So avail yourself of that, or go to that website, pre-order the DVD set. You save a ton of money if you pre-order it now. But I'm not going to talk about the conference that Mark Sutherland will be at in Dallas, Texas. And you can, again, go to hearthewatchman.com. I'm not going to talk about the conference today because we had a viewer that complained and said, can you do a single interview without talking about the conference in Dallas, Texas that starts next week on Thursday that you can find information at Hear the Watchman? So we're not going to talk about that today. We're just going to get right into it and welcome my brother from another mother who lives on the other side of the pond over in the London area, who will be at Hear the Watchman next Thursday in Dallas, Texas, Mr. Mark Sutherland. Mark, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure, my brother, and good to see you. And is there a rumor that there's a conference going on that starts next Thursday, which I'm looking forward to flying in? I think there is. So I look forward to meeting you in person, my brother. What a week it has been.
Yes, it has been one, hasn't it? Here we're gonna. This is, folks. If you don't already know, Mark and I do a show every Saturday, and I try to post it on Saturday, but for some reason I don't seem to get it up until like Tuesday. But today I'm going to try and make it happen. Kind of stumbling over the words. I try to get it up. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. But we do a show where we talk about the things that have happened in the week. And let's look at it here in the States. I was, Mark, I'm not sure if you read this, but my dear bartender, my favorite bartender who happens to work in Washington, D.C., her name, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's losing support. Can you imagine that? The article mentioned that her constituents in New York, I guess they woke up and smelled the county coffee because what they found out was she was instrumental in driving Amazon away. And they're not happy about that. I wouldn't be happy about it either. I'm not. She could drive me away from the entire United States. Not only that, but Fox News got in trouble because their commentators said when she says her name that she was doing the Latina thing. Now, look, I, over the course of my life, have known and actually once was engaged to a Latina. And I guarantee you one thing about AOC. She's no Latina. I don't know what she is, but she's definitely not a Latina. So we had that happen. We've had the attacks on Trump. We've had the shootings. What a mess, Mark. What's going on?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, when you talk about Alexandria? What, don't you mean that big billboard that was put up or something I saw in New York saying that they've traced away 25,000 jobs and all the relevant wages and infrastructure that would have gone with that, which means that it isn't just about the 25,000 jobs that have been chased away. It's also the fact that those 25,000 people will be spending X amount of money that they will be earning and all the other infrastructure in that particular area. So it's a huge, huge, huge add-on here. And you're right, because our favorite bartender, as we so lovingly like to call her, is being called out by a wonderful, wonderful man whose name is mistaken, but I think it's called either some channel he's created, John Reagan, and he has called her out because basically he has exposed her as an actress. He has gone back, and we're not making this up. We're going back to the fact that these social democrats, so was it these socialists, these democratic socialists, which is a complete oxymoron, frankly. And remember that within the sort of communist history, I think the first sort of communist sort of party that Lenin was joining, they were calling them socialist democrats. Which, as you know, socialism is the route into communism. You vote it in and everything's fine, So Alexandria, I believe, is an actress. She was auditioned for this part, and there seems to be others that are going down this particular line. And unfortunately, fortunately for us, but unfortunately for her, with the Young Turks and all the rest, and if we listen to get the information, she is slowly being exposed for who she is, because off script, and you and I don't have a script. We are talking from our heart. We are talking from our passion. Let's just say that. Off script, she can't cope unless she's reading from something, unless she's actually learned something. Of course, we look at the facts, and then we learn, and then we push those facts forward. Then we're telling everyone about it. So she is slowly unfolding. However, what is concerning me is actually the amount of airtime that she is being given, and also with that other guy, Beto O'Rourke, as they're all going, I posted an interesting picture today, which you commented on, which people can find on the Facebook page. And when you see the picture, you'll be totally and utterly as horrified as I am, like everyone else, and think, and this man wants to be president of the United States? And just by the way, the Democrats were criticizing Donald Trump because he's not a priest or an angel.
Yeah, look at that guy, though. That picture was priceless.
Yeah, they were trying. Yeah, absolutely. And that picture was priceless.
Yeah.
And there he is.
And I think that the only thing that could have made it, the only thing, Mark, that could have made that picture better, actually, was if Alexandria was in it too. But anyway, and I mean, we look at this stuff. Let's
not go there. Let's not even go there.
We look at and just look up Mark Sutherland in London on Facebook, and you can look at the picture. But it's funny. There is hope for the poor girl, though. When she gets booted out of Washington D.C., she can stay there. She can go to the Old Emmett Grill, a favorite of mine that has been there. Every president has eaten at the Old Emmett. She can go there and be a bartender, and everything will be great. But aside from her and that stuff and that Piglosi lady, forget about all that. Let's talk for a second before we move to your side of the pond about the Mueller report, which came out finally, where Robert Mueller spent all this time looking into the whole Russian thing and finally issues his final report. And guess what he found? He found Donald Trump didn't do anything.
I wonder. Absolutely.
All that money, all that time, all that crap, all of it done by who? The liberals, to do what? Try and get rid of Trump. And what do they find? Nothing. So, which is not surprising, because what do liberals do? Nothing. So, we had that this week, and I mean, I'm sure we look like fools to the people on your side of the pond.
Well, I don't know about that. I think, quickly with Beto and Alexandria, what concerns me about them is going around saying they think the world's going to end the planet's going to end in 12 years' time. They must know more than we do. Bless them. And we're not date setters.
Yeah, well, you know what we say about date setters.
Well, they are date setters. They're date setters. Well, Mueller, yes. What a surprise. There's a rumor that Rachel Maddow burst into tears or something, and that the other MSNBC, Matthew, whatever, was having a total breakdown because they've been pushing that narrative, haven't they, brother, that, the Russians had interfered and all this. And Mueller suddenly comes out with diddly squat. But what is really serious about it, if we have to remember, according to people like brilliant book, Spygate, Dan Bongino, another plug because it is a great book, is the fact that Mueller is the man that's already abused the FISA courts in the past. All what they've done is just put one of their own to cover up everyone's crimes, and we've all known about it. There is nothing. The whole Russia thing is a conspiracy, is a total conspiracy to bring the president down. Now, what I'm going to be really interested, and I posted it on my Facebook page, was the BBC response to that. Because you and I are going to wait, like everyone else, for all the apologies from all these media outlets which have gone, we wish to apologize for the lies that we have been speaking about. I think I hear what that phrase is called that you wonderfully use. We now listen to the crickets now because they are chirping. There will be no apology whatsoever, and there needs to be an apology because there was nothing. The whole sexed up dossier, the Steele dossier, everything was a fake. The fact that Mr. Obama, the then 44th president, used that to go and get a FISA court process to then be able to spy on the Trump campaign. We're not making this up. This is true. This is fact. And I hate to say it, Mike, the GCHQ over here, all the spies were all in collusion with the CIA in regard to that. I am not making it up. It's in Dan Bongino lays it out in his brilliant book, and there's loads of other facts there. Mike, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, my brother. I can't hear you.
Thank you. I muted myself because my dog was barking outside. We went through that once before. But as conservatives, we really should be putting up the BS flag right now and calling the liberals what they are, which is a bunch of liars. And try to wake up America, try to wake up our young people in America who buy this Bernie Sanders BS, Bernie Sanders, who buy this stuff, who think that AOC is, just like the second coming of Christ for them. Because what do they want? What do young people in America want today? They want a handout. They want someone else to pay for it. I've tried to explain to Mike, at least my two kids, get this. Where if somebody else pays, if it's free, that just means someone else is paying for it, and I'll tell you what, if you want to debate me on that, I'll put my kids up as an example. I have one that's going to medical school, and I have another one who has a doctorate and is teaching in a university. Now, I'm not proud of the fact he's teaching in a university, but if you have to have someone teach, at least he's not as liberal as most of his companions are. So anyway, let's take a look over on your side of the pond and tell us, Mark, what the heck is going on with Theresa May? What in the world is she doing?
Well, I thought you might ask me that, and I nearly went, do we have to? Do we have to look at what's going on? Because it is just, it's just, for some, so depressing. But actually, no, it's not. So what's she doing? Well, she gave a press conference, and what she did, Mike, it was classic. It was the classic sort of political thing. You blame all the other members of Parliament for the fact that we are in this mess. Now, that is how they read it, which is really quite good for our side, because they've actually got very annoyed with her, because she said, well, because we've had all the political shenanigans and we've got nowhere, and you're really, really bored with all this, the fact that we're so out of touch with all of you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, love, you are out of touch. And actually, just for the record, we don't need a deal. We can just walk away. So why have you been going, we need to have a deal? We don't need to have a deal. The fact is, you want the deal. The deal is, we would be a vassal state. I've said this, let's say it again. The deal is that we would just leave the EU in name only. We still stay in the EU, giving them 39 billion euros in divorce payments. I mean, if you look into how much the EU costs, it's outrageous. Like, there's one massive figure, nearly hitting €1 trillion and stuff like this kind of thing. So basically, she's gone into meltdown on that. She has now been told by the Speaker of the House of Commons, Mr. Bercow, not that I'm a fan of his, to say that you cannot bring your deal to Parliament for the third time. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. So she's been told that and has been told to go away. Now, what she's going to come back with, there has been some MPs have felt bullied into turning around saying, well, then we're trying to be bullied into signing this. If they sign this, like her, I say this without, not just to have a giggle, this is profoundly serious. It's treason. You would have sold the country down the line. Treason was done in 1973 when we entered in the first place and lost our sovereignty. And the then Prime Minister agreed that we would be paying X amount of the Common Agricultural Policy. I won't go into that. But in other words, we were paying millions and millions of pounds what we were not asked for about. And Theresa May, the fact is, look, we voted to leave. That's what it means. Now, just out of interest, I drive around the motorway that goes around London. It's called the M25. There's a clue, everybody. And so where we go. And at one point on the M25, on my journey, there's a big poster by the end of a field that says, we're leaving the EU. So some farmer's land or whatever has got this massive poster up. It's fantastic. And then it just said the other day, a week and a half ago, leave means leave. We are leaving. All of the apparatus for us to leave the EU, all the legality of it within the apparatus of government is all there. And the wonderful Melanie Phillips, so just finally finished with this on there, the wonderful Melanie Phillips, who used to be editor of The Guardian and then woke up, as she said, and moved from the left to what we perceive as the right. And she said that within the civil service, everything is set up for us to go. You know, we won't stop flying to other countries. The whole world won't stop to an end and all the rest. Everything is in place. But there has been a war within our civil service class. And you wouldn't believe that, as I did earlier today, going into a local supermarket here. And there I am looking at the front page of The Guardian, you know, that bastion of truth-telling. And it's not, of course, left-wing at all. And I used to read it avidly, but then you grow up. And the key thing is this. On the front of that page, it's saying, oh, we're not prepared for Brexit. There's going to be 3 months of, you know, it's going to be really awkward and all the rest. That is absolutely BS. Complete BS. We are ready to go, and it's a mindset. And Mike, when you say to me, you know, what is Theresa May going on about? Look, everyone in the country now, well, not everyone, I can't speak on everyone, but a lot of people in this country, and some of those people are people that voted to remain, and over time they've seen the way their Prime Minister's been treated, they've seen the way the European Union has behaved. Remember Mr. Tusk going, Tusk, there's a special place in hell for all those people that led the Brexit movement or voted for Brexit. They have actually come and go, we want to go. But we are so want to go. Now, according to some records, our unemployment in this country is the lowest it's been for 44 years. Various other people on the left would go, no, of course it's not, that these aren't proper jobs or whatever. Well, it's lower than it has been for a long, long time. It's the same on your side of the pond as well. The parallel is quite incredible. And we just remind people of this. There is no doubt about it. Steve Bannon, who was leading the Trump campaign at that time in 2016, and Donald Trump, as he was then, drew on inspiration of the fact that 17,410,752 people, with a majority of over a million on this side of the pond, voted out. Period. We want to run our own country. That is what we want to do again. And sadly, not a lot of young people know that. It's never been explained to them because they want to live in this cultural, they've been brought up and educated to believe in this cultural Marxist construct that you and I just say BS and we're smelling it out. You know, it's an interesting, it is, I believe, a very, very exciting time to be alive. It really is, because we are seeing all of this unfold. And there's a key thing. And that wonderful journalist in Southern Ireland said today, Gemma Doherty said today, is that the truth, on one of her reports, the truth will always stand. And this is it, my brother. The truth will always stand, because the truth will get through and will be exposed. And that is what is going on, because that, in regard to the Mueller report, the truth is being exposed. There's nothing in it. The truth is being exposed, that the EU is tyranny. And for all those people that want to stay inside the EU, frankly, the EU will not be what they thought it was, because they want to have their own army and they want to have more and more of your democratic mandate as a country into their hands.
You know, amen, Mark. And you know, folks, as we say this all the time here, the answer is prayer. We all need to pray. We need to hear over there on your side, you got to pray for this side. We got to pray for that side. We all got to pray for each other. It's crucial. It's crucial. We're going to have to cut today's episode just a little bit short because I have to do a bunch of honeydews. All this stuff that I got to get done so that we can leave Monday to go to that conference that we're not going to talk about called Hear the Watchmen in Dallas, Texas. Begins next Thursday. And Mark and I are going to be sitting side by side there, recording shows, talking with people. I think we might grill L.A. Marzulli on what's the big deal with the Nephilim. Who knows what we'll get into, but I guarantee it'll be fun. Mark, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join us. And I really am truly looking forward to seeing you, brother, again in Dallas.
It's my pleasure, my brother, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you and Jeannie and everyone else, our whole family. So I look forward to that very much.
Amen. Well, listen, folks, again, that's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of The Wrap with Mark and Mike. Looking forward to next week. We're gonna do a bunch of stuff, cool stuff for you. And as we always say here on the Watchmen's Report, don't forget, there's nothing that you can't do with Jesus in your heart, except nothing at all. Get out there, get busy, activate your faith. Hopefully we'll see you in Dallas, Texas, at the Hilton DFW next Friday through Sunday. Actually, come on Thursday. Join us there. We'll have some fun together. God bless each and every one of you. We'll talk to you next time here on the Watchmen's Report.